Why did they pick me? I don't know. Hashtag Violet Pride. I hate myself. And no, that sounds so cheesy. Who chose me? It's a mystery. I'm gonna try to spill the tea. Hey beautiful people, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sophia and I make YouTube videos about college and lifestyle. So before you keep watching this video, make sure to press the little subscribe button that's somewhere in one of these corners so that you'll be notified every time I post a new video. Today I'm here to reveal to you how I got into NYU and how you can also gain acceptance to New York University. For today's video, since I'm a very proud NYU student, I'm wearing my NYU class of 2023 hoodie, which just has New York and Violet's 2023, because once you're an NYU student, you need to show that hashtag Violet Pride. I hate myself. In today's video, I'm going to talk through how I got admitted to NYU and what the essentials are when you're applying to NYU or just to any US college in general. The four core areas of any application are the application itself, your stats, your extracurriculars, and your college essays. Before I go through every step in the application process, I want to talk to you about my personal experience applying to NYU and give you some context on what NYU applications are like and what they're looking for. So I applied to NYU in December as part of their early decision 2 round, and I applied to the College of Arts and Science as an intended political science major. I applied as an international student because I'm not a US citizen and I'm not a US resident, so the whole application process was a little new to me, and I'm also the first person in my family to go to college in the US. So I discovered a whole lot of things throughout this application process that I'm going to talk to you about. And for some context on NYU admissions, this year for the class of 2023, they received over 83,000 applicants. NYU saw an increase in its international application with over 17,000 international students applying. Admitted students came from 88 countries and all 50 states. This year, the acceptance rate dropped to 16%, which was NYU's lowest acceptance rate yet. For the NYU application process, there's a few things that I want you to know and things that came in handy for when I applied. So let's talk a little about the application process. Apply early. Maybe you're not committed to any school, you don't want to be bound by early decision policies, you don't feel confident applying early action, but honestly, the earlier you apply, the better your chances are. You are likely to receive better financial aid, and that was the case for me, and you'll find out your school sooner. NYU actually does 2 early decision rounds, which are binding, but if your financial aid does not meet your needs, you can opt out of the binding policy. First early decision round that NYU has a deadline of November 1st, and you find out in December, and the early decision 2 round has a January 1st deadline, and you find out February 15th. Now I applied in the early decision 2 round, which was perfect for me because by December I was completely done with all of my college applications, and by February I already knew what school I wanted to go to, which, if you couldn't guess, it's NYU. So apply early, or at least as early as you possibly can. And obviously to apply early, you're going to need to start working early. So since it's summer, this is the perfect time for you to start working on your college applications so that you can meet those early action and early decision deadlines. Have a theme to your application or something that makes you stand out. In business, you have something called a unique selling point, a USP, and to an extent, when you're applying to universities, you need to sell yourself. There's going to be thousands of people applying to the same school, maybe even to the same major, and you need to make yourself stand out. When you're writing your college application, when you're putting together those essays, and when you're thinking about what side of you want to show, you need to think about what makes you stand out. For example, for my application, I was focused a lot on communication and serving my community. So my application was really focused on civic engagement and social justice and being a voice for issues of global significance. But that was the case for me. Maybe you're an amazing athlete, or you have a really rich family history that you want to show, or you're the child of immigrants. Whatever makes you stand out is what you need to reflect in your application. And as cheesy as it sounds, it needs to come from your heart. The application, to an extent, is going to take a lot of introspection because you're going to need to find out what makes you unique. And if you can't do that by yourself, Ask your teachers, your parents, your friends. So essentially, when you're applying, think about having a cohesive application and think about how you are going to pitch yourself or sell yourself to those prospective colleges. And the last thing that I want to mention in terms of the application process are the reference letters. Obviously, this needs to come from people who know you really well, but it doesn't necessarily have to be from your favorite teacher, the teacher of the class that you're best at. For my college references, I chose my history teacher and my Model UN coach. I chose my history teacher because in the beginning I was struggling a lot with the class, and as time went on, I gained skills that helped me in the study of history and I became a better student in that subject. So I asked my teacher to write my reference letter because he was someone that saw me grow as a learner in a particular subject. And so my history teacher was able to highlight how I overcome challenges when it comes to education, and also to explain my drive and my motivation when it comes to subjects that I don't excel at or that I may struggle with initially. My Model UN coach I chose for one of my reference letters because he was someone that saw me grow in an area that was not necessarily academic, and because he also saw me in a leadership role. And that's something that is super important. If you're the leader of a club or an organization, have a supervisor write your review because they can explain who you are beyond the school walls. And that is something that colleges will really appreciate, especially if you're someone who has shown leadership and initiative in a particular area. The next area of your application are going to be your stats. Now, mine are a little weird because I'm an international student, applied with a 39 out of 45 points. For my GPA, here's my lovely transcript. My school does GPA by grade level, and then they give you a cumulative GPA and it's all weighed. So in 10th grade, my GPA was a 3.98. Junior year, my GPA was a 4.52, and in senior year, it was a 4.51. So my cumulative GPA came out to a 4.3. I actually did not take the SAT, the ACT, or any SAT subject test because NYU is one of the few colleges in the US that is test optional. What that means is that even if you take the SAT or the ACT, you don't have to submit your test scores, which is perfect if test taking isn't necessarily one of your skills, or if, like me, you're someone who wasn't able to take any of these standardized tests. Or if you did take the SAT or the ACT, or if you're planning to take either one of those tests, at NYU, the median SAT score for 2019 applicants was a 1480, and ACT scores for NYU admits are usually between a 30 and a 34. The next part of your application is going to be your extracurricular activities. So in high school, I literally did the most. I tried to do a lot of stuff in high school, not because I wanted it to be on my college application or my transcript, but because I found clubs and activities that I loved and was super passionate about. If you join clubs, activities, organizations just to put them on your college application, it will show. Admissions officers are smart, they know what you're doing, and if you try to pass off all of these things that you don't really care about as things that are meaningful to you, I guarantee you it will not work. Having said that, the things that I did in high school all had a certain theme to them, and as I said before, it was part of how I sold myself as an applicant, and everything was related to social justice, global issues, and using my voice to help others. Except the last activity, which I put on there because, yeah. The first activity that I listed on my Common App was speech, debate, and acting, and that was a club at my school that I did from sophomore to senior year. I wrote down all of the events that I participated in, which were original oratory, oral interpretation, impromptu speaking, and debate. And I also put that I was a quarterfinalist for debate and a semi-finalist for original oratory and impromptu speaking. The next activity that I had was Model United Nations. I did this activity from 8th grade to senior year, which showed that I was really dedicated to this activity and that I had committed a lot of time to it. I was leader of the club, which showed initiative and leadership. I participated in over 10 conferences and I chaired in about 4 conferences. The conferences that I chaired, I was also committee president several times. I did student council at my school in junior and senior year, and I helped organize several community events which raised over 6,000 euros for school service projects. I dedicated over 150 hours to serving the communities in need of my local city, which included going to retirement homes, soup kitchens, homeless shelters, centers for asylum seekers, and a home for young single mothers. And the last activity that I did, which was the only thing that wasn't really related to social justice and change and using my voice, was tennis, which I played from 7th grade to sophomore year. I just put it because it was an activity that I had done and also to give some diversity to my application. But as you can tell, all of these activities were things that I had committed a fair amount of time to, that I was really passionate about, and that showed a side of my personality that isn't necessarily reflected by my academics. And that's something that I highly encourage you to do. You don't need to have 5 activities or 6 activities or however many you can put on the Common App. You just need to have the activities that reflect who you are beyond school, what kinds of things you're passionate about. And the final part of your application process, and the thing that I think was key in helping me get into NYU, are the college essays. Now, I'm not going to spill the tea on my college essay just yet because I'm going to devote an entire video to how to write a good college app essay, a supplement essay, and where I'm also going to read the essays that I submitted to NYU, so stay tuned for that. But what I will say on the topic of the college essays is that, first of all, it needs to be unique because no one else applying has the same experiences as you, so it really needs to reflect who you are as a person and not just as a student. It needs to be really well written, so proofread, 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 edit, 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 and make sure it gets seen by at least 2 other pairs of eyes. For the supplement essay, I saw an admissions video from NYU that put it perfectly. It's not about why you are right for the school, but it's about why the school is right for you. So for example, in my supplement essay, I talked about how different parts of my personality were reflected in the mission of NYU. And I think that really helped in my application because a lot of the time you're trying to tell the school why you need to be there, but you put a spin on it and tell them why they actually need you. Your application will not only be more unique, but also more introspective. All on the topic of the essays. If you're a senior applying to schools now, I wish you the best of luck. It can be a very stressful period in high school, but it's completely worth it in the end. You have a dream school. I really hope you are admitted to that school, and if you're not, don't give up. I was rejected from my original dream school, and it worked out for the best because NYU is definitely the perfect school for me, and it has very quickly become my dream school, and I really couldn't think of a more perfect place to follow my dreams. Good luck, seniors. If you're in another grade in high school, I hope this video helped you think more about the college process. If you liked this video and if it was helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up because it really helps out my channel. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye!